Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today I want to talk about my Goodreads challenge for 2025. And I'm very, very excited to, number one, announce it, and number two, to get started on it, which I've actually already gotten started on it. I am currently reading 3 physical copy books every single night. I am also listening to an audiobook, and I am reading 2 graphic novels. So I've gotten, well, it's kind of books that I carried over from 2024 that I was going to try to get finished in 2024, but I was like, you know what? We're just going to wait until 2025 and then add them to the list. So I'm very, very excited about this. Now listen, Linda, okay? If you did not watch my last video, I put together, it was so hard, it was such a huge project, I put together this read-along that I'm going to do during 2025, which is the James Patterson read-along. Go over to my last video and watch it, and it kind of explains more about it, but basically, we are going to read 3 James Patterson Alex Cross novels a month until November, and then in December, read the newest one that comes out. I think it comes out in November. It's the 34th book in the series, which means if we read 3 books a month, by the end of November, we'll have read the entire Alex Cross series, and then in December, we will read the final Alex Cross novel. I also think that James Patterson has 2 or 3 Christmas novels, so I might make those like Christmas novels for December that we'll just like tag those on to the end. I think like one of them is I think there's one Alex Cross Christmas novel, but we'll probably be reading that in July. We're going to read it whenever it comes up. So anyway, so if you do that, that's 3 books a month, okay? And people are like, oh my God, I think I'll only be able to do 1 or whatever. Okay, the James Patterson books, like every chapter is about 2 or 3 pages, okay? And the books are really quick reads. I think like if you listen to them on Audible, I'm reading the physical copies of them, but if you listen to them on Audible, somebody figured it out and said that if you read 10 chapters a day, then you could read all 3 books in a month. 10 chapters a day is probably, no lie, maybe 15 or 20 minutes of reading a James Patterson book. But if you read 3 books a month, the James Patterson books, then by the end of the year, you'll easily have, 35 books that you have read, with the final one, 35 books with the Christmas ones. So, I mean, that's a huge part of a goal already. So, last year, let's go in here to my Goodreads and see what I made my goal for last year. I think I made my goal 100 last year. Go into past challenges, challenge details. Okay. Where are my past challenges? Hold on a second. Okay, past challenges and goals. So last year, my goal was 100 books, and I read 47 out of 100. My True Crime Book Club partner, Mel, she and I read the exact same amount of books this year. We both read 47 books last year. By the way, for those of you that haven't been keeping up with my videos, we are taking a hiatus for the True Crime Book Club for January. Huge, and I'm not like, this is not like how I make every title, like huge booktube changes or booktube announcement. We really are making huge changes to the True Crime Book Club. I mean, it's literally entirely changing. So that announcement will be coming in February or March. I'm very, very excited about that. Peter's Book Club is also on hiatus for the month of January. So there will be no True Crime book for January, no True Crime Book Club for January, no Peter's Book Club book for January. Peter's Book Club will come back definitely in February, and I have huge changes about that too, and I'm really excited about that. So new things coming to both of those for those of you that wondered. But last year I set my goal at 100, okay? So let's go in here and look. The year before, 2023, I set my goal for 62 books, and I read 28 out of 62. The year before, 2022, my goal was 104 books, and I read 14. That was a year that was after the accident, or the year of the accident. I had a really, really hard time getting back into reading that year and focusing. The year before that, my goal was 102 books, and I read 110 books, actually, so I overwent my goal. My Goodreads started in 2014, and that year I made a goal of 55 books, and I read 31. So anyway, my best that I've ever done is, Reading Challenge 2020. I read 100 of 100 books. And then the year after that, I set my goal for 102, because I was like, set it a little bit higher, so I set it for 102, and I read 110 out of 102 books. So this year, I was like thinking it through. I'm walking a lot, and when I walk, I listen to an audiobook. So I was like, I can definitely finish 1 audiobook a week, if not 2 or 3. Okay, but let's aim low. So I can definitely finish at least one audiobook a week. With the James Patterson books of a minimum, I can read at least one physical copy book a week, okay? So that's 2 books a week. There's 52 weeks in a year, which means that if I do one Audible book, okay, and one physical copy book a week, then I can read 104 books a year. But I was like, you know what? I think I want to step outside of this. I think I want to go all in. And so I was talking to my friend Nikki on the phone because we were coming up with what our Goodreads goal was going to be. And I was asking her and she was telling me what she was thinking. I think she set hers last year for something like 60 or 65 or I don't know. But anyway, and so she was going to just make it like 2 more. I said, girl, you need to aim high. She goes, should I do 100? I said, no, you should do what I'm going to do. And she goes, well, what are you going to do? I go, well, I was like reading through my Goodreads stuff. I take this very seriously. It's so funny when like people that are not like on Goodreads or reading apps, and they'll ask you, they'll like, why is it like a challenge? Because why do you have to count how many books you read? It just makes it more fun. For me, it reminds me of like when I was a kid. I mean, I like to keep track of the books that I read anyway. But when I was a kid, I can remember like in the summers, we would go to the library. My mom loved the library. And so we would go to the library a lot in the summers. And I can remember there'd be like the caterpillar on the wall, right? And then like you would have your name at the beginning of it. And every time you came to the library, like if you had read 2 books, you'd like turn the books in and then like you could move your thing like 2 more. And then at the end of it, if you made it to the end of the caterpillar or by the end of summer or whatever, if you had read like 10 books or I think it was like 10 or 20 books. If you had read like 10 or 20 books and you got like a free ice cream cone at McDonald's or, you know, something like that. And I can remember always like doing the challenges at the library when I was a little kid growing up. And so I love all this kind of challenge stuff, you know? I think it's so much fun. Plus, I will say that the challenge kind of reinforces this idea for me to read a little bit more. It really does. So I was like, okay, I was going through my Goodreads list and I was looking at each year and what I had read and whatever. And I was like, I want to push myself. I know I can do 100 books. I mean, one year I did 110. So I was like, I know I can do at least 110 because one year I did it. So I was like, let's push it even further and do 111 books. Okay. So my friend Nikki, on New Year's Eve, we were at a wedding. My friend Nikki, I'm going through like social media and she posted it on her Facebook. She was like, my Goodreads goal for 2025, and she like posted a thing and everything, and she put on there that her goal was 112 books. And I texted her and I said, girl, we said 111. And she goes, how did you come up with the 111? I thought we said 112 because of the weeks of the year. And I said, okay, well that would be 104. And I said 111 because the most that I had read was 100, so I wanted to aim for one more than 111, for one more than 110, so I made it, the most I'd done was 110, so I wanted to make it one more. She goes, well, I can go in and change it. I said, oh no, because I had already gone in it after before I saw hers, I had gone in and I like set my goal for 111, but then I changed it. So my goal for this year, and Nikki's as well, is 112 books for next year. I always, whenever I like set my goal, I remember talking to my Aunt Kathy that since passed away. She was like an avid Kindle reader and she loved her Kindle so much. And I said to her one day, we were at dinner, and I said something to her about how many books I had read or whatever, and she goes, I read like a book a day. And I go, what? She goes, I think I've read like 400 books this year. It was like in December. She goes, I think I've read like something like 400 books a year. And whenever I see people's Goodreads come up, and they've read like 400 books, I'm like, damn. And you know, for me, as a lover of books and reading and stories and characters, it's like the more books you read, I think this is the thing that some people don't understand about it. It's not about just tacking off another book or ticking off another book that you've read. For me, it's more worlds that you get to enter and enjoy, and it's more characters that you get to meet and that become part of your life. It's more stories that you learn from, or more stories that you can escape into, or more stories that you can have fun with. And I love all of it, and I love reading so much, and so I'm so excited for another year of reading. I think I'm gonna do it, especially with going into the new year. I'm like halfway through Go Ask Alice. I'm like almost done with Maximum Ride by James Patterson, the first one. And what's the third book that I'm reading? I'm like, Go Ask Alice. What's the third book that I'm reading? I was just reading it last night. Oh, I don't even remember what it was now. They're all down there in the kitchen. They're just stacked up. And I just like read like, what is it? Go ask Al. Oh, why can't I remember? And then the Fangirl, the manga, is a graphic novel. And then the Paula Hawkins book, which was Peter's book club for November. What, you know what? I got to go in here now and I got to look and see what the book is. It's listed on my books. Hold on a second. My books. This is going to drive me crazy. I can't remember. Milk and Honey, the poetry book. I'm almost done with that. I think I'm like 50 pages away from being done with that. So I'll probably finish that one tonight. That will actually be probably my first one for 2025 that I finish. By the way, I just want to say, Go Ask Alice. I'm reading. I haven't read it in probably since like high school. And it was real cheesy at first. I'll do a full review over here, but I'm absolutely loving it. I know now like why I was so ate up with it when I was in high school. It's a good book. It's a really good book. It is not for kids at all. Like, it's so weird that it's like kind of aimed for like young teenagers. Is like this, if you guys don't know, Go Ask Alice is like this propaganda book that was written. They said it was a found diary, but then later it came out that Beatrice Sparks wrote it to be like Mormon propaganda to like get kids away from doing drugs. But it's a hardcore book. It really is, especially for its time. But anyway, those are the three books that I'm reading. Milk and Honey, Go Ask Alice, and Maximum Ride. And I'll probably finish those this week. And then the Paula Hawkins book I'll probably finish this weekend. And then hopefully the Fangirl and manga. So I'll be going into next week 5 books already. Baby, can't stop me. We're going to do it this year. Anyway, 112 is my Goodreads goal for this year. I'm so excited. Let me know what your Goodreads goal is in the comment section below. Listen, no judgment. If you even read one book this year, I think that's amazing. You know, I think that's absolutely amazing. And you kind of just got to go, I beat myself up so bad. Like when I was having a really hard time reading and I couldn't focus a couple years ago, after the accident and stuff. And I just was like, I can't focus. Like I can't listen to an audiobook. I just could not focus at all. And I really, really missed reading and I beat myself up about it. You do what you can do, and reading should be something that we find as fun, enjoyment, and also as education, obviously, but it should be fun and it should be enjoyable and it shouldn't be something that we beat ourselves up about. I never at the end of the year, like last week I was like, I'm going to finish all these books and just in time I was like, you know what, just carry them over for the next year. So what, 47 books. 47's good. I read 47 books this year, So anyway, let me know what your Goodreads goal is in the comment section below. If you do Goodreads, if you do another app, let me know what your goal is in the comment section below as well. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.